Good morning, and welcome to Celerant's virtual client conference. Now, I know last year, when we had our first virtual client conference, I had said that it would be our first and hopefully last virtual event, but I can pretty well assure you this time next year, we will be back together again in San Antonio on the Riverwalk, and I can't wait. That said, this has been quite a year, but we are here, and we made our way through it, and all good things are to come. This past year at Celerant, we introduced a lot of new initiatives. And so I want to first talk about a couple of those here this morning. At Celerant, partnerships for us are really, really important. We go out and we find the right third-party software or service companies to partner with to bring the most value to our retail clients. This past year, we integrated, I think, with over 25 new partners. And so in total, we have over 100 partner integrations. Now, some of them are for different markets and for much different purposes. But what we initiated this past couple of months is our new partner spotlight. So each month we'll be sending out an email highlighting one new partner, talking about the integration and the value we bring, and we'll be giving the partner the opportunity to offer a promotion to help our retail clients get started. Each month we also send out our monthly client newsletters. These newsletters have a ton of content in them, new versions that are now available, new partner announcements, new product videos, new educational blogs. So we really encourage everybody, if you're not getting those newsletters, let me or my marketing team know. We'll want to make sure we have the right email on file. It may also be going in your spam filter, but it's really important that you're getting these emails and hopefully opening them and reading them. Every time we announce a new software version, we send out an email letting you know there's a new version now in general release. And something new this past year, we started creating new feature videos where we pick the top features for that new version. And Jeff Weaver and I are creating videos where we'll actually show you how to use the software, how to use the new feature, and have a training video for those new features. So you can log into the client site, you can download the full release notes, which may be 20 or 30 pages, and you can just watch a short 15 or 20-minute video seeing the software in action. We also created a new collection of Stratus Enterprise training videos. So we'll be creating more videos as we go and adding more, but what we have so far, it can be all accessed via the client site. And speaking of the client site, we have a brand new client site that we're actually launching this week. So I know that some of you have already stumbled upon it, but the official announcement is going out this week, and I will show it to you in just a moment. A quick note, that email that you see, marketing@celerant.com, so that's a brand new email address, and that's for my marketing team. If you have any suggestions or feedback or questions, you can email marketing@celerant.com, and we always check that mailbox. We can answer any questions, and I'm always eager for your feedback. In some cases, we may not be able to answer all your technical questions, but we can always get you to the right place. So feel free to reach out to our marketing team at any time. So now let's take a quick look at the new client site. So you can access this site via the same link that you currently access the prior site. When you come to the new link, you'll see there's instructions at the top. You'll need to create a new login. So the old client site, there was one login per company and everybody shared the same login. The new client site will require a login per person. So you'll just have to click register, fill out the form. My team will review the form, provide you with approval. And once you're approved, you'll get an email back letting you know you're approved. And then you'll have full access to the client site that you see here. And so on our client site, we have a ton of training materials and resources to help you better use our software and just know more about our company. So here you can find those Stratus training videos, the downloadable release notes, the new feature videos. We also archive all of our partner spotlights, our webinars. This past year, through COVID, we've done so many webinars, and we brought in a lot of our partners to help us with those webinars. And so they're archived here on the client site, so you can always watch the videos there. We also archive all of our monthly newsletters and our tip of the weeks. And most importantly, we have all of our training manuals, which can be downloaded here as well, both for Command and of course, Stratus Enterprise as well. So now looking forward to the client conference in the next 2 days. So we have a lot of new features and new integrations that we want to show you. So depending on the sessions that you signed up for will of course depend on what you see. If you did want to change some of your sessions, that's totally fine. And I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. But some of the new exciting topics that we will be introducing at the conference coming in 270, which will be available in the next couple of weeks, we're launching our new SMS text message marketing with our partner Twilio. So we've already put some functionality into place, but the focus of this session at the conference is really more of a focus group. We want to get your feedback. We want to show you what we have so far and really get your feedback to make it more comprehensive and be able to send out more of the text message and triggers that are important to you. Also in 270, we have a new integration to Ship Engine. So with Ship Engine, we have now integrations to DHL and also Amazon Prime. And Ship Engine helps our retailers better select which carrier to use based on different factors. We have new one-to-one marketing features, such as our Surprise and Delight feature, which will be shown in our CRM session. We also have a new integration to a clienteling app, One Shop. And Nick from One Shop is here with us, and he'll be presenting his application in that session as well. We have new integrations to online marketplaces. So we've always integrated to Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and now we're expanding those integrations to vertical specific marketplaces. So with us at the event, we have Everest and also Weapon Depot, and they'll be in those sessions. We have a brand new advanced reporting application called Stratus Analytics. We did a client webinar about a month ago. Actually, Ray Weiner did it. And so that's available up in the client site. And at the conference, Ray will be doing a deep dive, more of a training session into how to use that new application and adding it onto your Stratus system. We have expanded our distributor integrations. So we brought on a bunch of new distributors in a lot of different vertical markets, things like catalog import, automated purchasing, e-commerce online feeds, drop ship, in-store kiosks, and a lot more. And now we also integrate with quite a few different applications for industry benchmark reporting. So companies like NASGW or Grassroots or the NPD group. And with these groups, you can share your sales data so that you then get access to industry benchmark reports to help you make better buying decisions. And we have a lot of new e-commerce features. So Zeke and his team will be showing things like our new single page checkout, and also coming soon, we'll be supporting things like Apple Pay. And lastly, for any of our hunt, camp, fish retailers, we have all new enhancements to our range application. And so that's coming in 270, and we'll be giving a sneak peek at some of the new range application screens here at the event. So now let's take a look at what we have planned for the next 2 days. For those of you who joined us last year, we're using the same application, and so you should remember your way around. For those of you who are new this year, let's take a quick tour. So when you access the main page, you can either enter into the sections here from the main screen, or you can go through the top site navigation up at the top here. So I'm going to click in first to the sessions section. This is where you'll find your schedule. So each of you registered for your own session based on your session selections. So you're only going to see the schedule that you created. So right now we're here in the introduction and welcome address. At 10:25, you'll click in here for our first keynote. And when you click in here at 10:25, you'll see a big button here that says join now. You don't see it yet because it's not time. But once 10:25 hits, you'll see that button and you can just click on that to join into the session. We did also include in every session the GoToMeeting link and the call-in number. So if there's any issues with the button, or if you prefer to use your phone and not your laptop or your computer audio, you can just access via the GoToMeeting information as well. After the keynote, our first breakout session is at 11:30. And you can click on it right here. And for each breakout session, you can see the moderator who's presenting. And then, of course, you can click in to enter through the Join Now button there as well. Next, let's take a look at our partner showcase. So you can click here. And this is where you'll see all of our partners who are participating at the event. We have 16 partners here, which is really exciting. Each partner will be raffling off a prize. So I encourage you, when time permits, in between sessions or before and after, you can jump in and say hello to all of our partners to be included in their raffles. Let's take a look at Avalara. So Avalara is, of course, our sales tax compliance partner. And so when you click into their virtual booth, you'll see there's a video at the top. This is actually our client Geiger Sporting Goods. The video is just talking about the integration and how it's benefited his business. And then there's downloadable resources down here. You can download different PDFs and whatnot. And then our Avalara team, you can see here, we have Linda, Tyler, Chris, and Lisa. And you can start a live chat just by typing into the chat box at the bottom, or you can submit an inquiry, which is basically just sending an email. Either way, you'll want to stop by, say hello so that you're included in their raffle. And Avalara is raffling off a $200 gift card to Amazon. Next, you can take a look at our discussions board. So there's no discussion there just yet, but this is a great place to come and just ask a question. Probably the best benefit of our client conference, I always say, is the ability to network. Networking with the Celerant team, of course, our partners, but sometimes even just as important is just networking with each other, talking to our other retailers, asking questions, giving each other's ideas, learning from each other. So this discussion board is a great place to come to just ask a question. Maybe somebody from Celerant will answer it, or another retailer or a partner. Just a heads up though, this page is public, so anything you post here will be seen by everyone. This next section is the resources section. So for every session you've registered for, when you click into your session, you'll be able to download the session materials. You can come here to the resource section and you can download everything from all the different sessions. Lastly, in the More section, if you click on Event Support, you'll see Kevin and Rob. And so these are the two gentlemen. If you have any questions or you're confused, or maybe you want to change your schedule, you can reach out to either Kevin or Rob and they can help you. And I want to give a quick special shout out to Kevin, our event coordinator, who has worked really hard at putting on this event and every event. And of course, Rob too, for assisting on the digital side. So thank you both. And feel free to reach out to either of them for assistance as needed. In this More section, you can also see the full master schedule. So if I click on Tuesday, it will show me every single session that's happening at each time slot. So if you want to maybe change your schedule, you can go here and you can take a look at all the different sessions that are available for either Tuesday, or you can go in and click on Wednesday. Also in this section, you can click on the Who's Online. And this will show you every person who's online. So if I wanted to chat with Kevin to maybe switch a schedule, I'll just click on his name and then I can click chat and that will open a live chat with Kevin. Or I can click message and that's going to enable me to send Kevin a message, a private email. So up next, we're going to hear from Celerant CEO and President Ian Goldman. And Ian will be speaking on what happens next. And then at 10:25, you can enter into our first keynote, in which we'll have Bob Negan from Whiz Bang Retail joining us. And Bob will be speaking on culture, your secret weapon in post-pandemic retail. Tomorrow morning, starting at 10 a.m., you can jump into our keynote session in your schedule. And we'll have Paul Erickson from our Partner Management One. And Paul will be speaking about Zen and the art of retail recovery. And just a quick reminder, at 5 o'clock tomorrow, please join our virtual happy hour. And I do have one request. If everyone can please share your web cameras, it would just be super, super helpful. We want to try to make our conference as collaborative as possible. And every Celerant team member will have our web cameras on. And the more Celerant clients and partners who also have their web cameras on, it just helps make each breakout session feel more personal. And on that note, I would like to introduce Ian Goldman, our CEO and president. And Ian will be speaking about what happens next. Ian?
It would seem that we are on the downhill slide of this pandemic. A good percentage of people are vaccinated, As the eligible age group for vaccination continues to fall, we will hopefully see finality to this very unpleasant couple of years we are experiencing. So, the burning question is what will happen next? Some people like to look at history to predict the future. History does repeat itself, they say. The closest time to compare our 2020 and 2021 would be 1919 and 1920 during the time of the Spanish flu. It was a pandemic in which we lost about 675,000 people in the US and 50 million worldwide. There are a few things these events had in common. They were both worldwide viral outbreaks for which there was no cure and barely any treatment. They both started during a time of economic prosperity. They both wreaked havoc to our economy. In 1918 and 1919, the only real defense against the flu was mask wearing and social distancing. Schools, restaurants, bars, and theaters were all closed. Back then, just as today, mask wearing stoked political defiance. It became a symbol of government overreach. There were protests and maskless gatherings. Men cut holes in their masks to smoke cigars. Work and productivity in all industries were greatly curtailed. There were, however, many differences as well. In late 1918, World War I ended, and it is strongly believed that the soldiers returning home brought the Spanish flu with them. The virus did not originate in Spain, and its origin is still unknown. However, the war is thought to be a major contributor of its spread. Today, the virus, which started in China, didn't remain there very long due to the normal activities of our global economy. That virus in 1918 predominantly claimed the lives of people in the 20 to 40-year-old range. Kids and elderly were less affected. However, today's virus took people mostly over the age of 65. That is a significant difference to the economy as each pandemic recedes. During and immediately following the Spanish flu, the U.S. was plunged into recession. In 1918, the unemployment rate was 1.4%. By 1920, it was almost 12%. In February of 2020, our unemployment was 3.5%. By May or June, it hit about 14%, but then quickly came back down and has remained between 6 and 7 since then. One reason for this may have been the political differences. During that pandemic, we had a Democratic president in Woodrow Wilson until 1921. This time, we had a Republican president in Donald Trump until 2021. Immediately thereafter, in both cases, the reverse party took over. In 2020, the president took enormous economic relief action for businesses and individuals, whereas back in 1919 and 1920, nothing near that scale was done. It is very likely that the government's relief efforts are the reason we had such a short spike in unemployment. Another major contributor to our stronger economy this time is technology. A large number of us were able to work at home due to technology. Children even learned at home using that very same technology, allowing many parents to continue working. Back then, there was no Zoom or internet. They barely had telephones. Business and industry were hurt, and due to the population affected by the virus, the workforce was decimated. If we fast forward to a period analogous to the coming couple of years, but back a century ago, we see a very depressed economy known as the Depression of 1920-21, leading into the turnover of a new president. Warren Harding operated on a platform of recovery, with very high tariffs, tightening of immigration, and lowering of taxes for corporations and high-income individuals. In essence, promoting American jobs and corporate investment. Perhaps this platform sounds familiar. As expected, it's controversial how these reforms contributed to the economy. However, the 1920s is considered the first truly modern decade. Industry and technology began exploding. The national expansion of electrical utilities led to a boom of new and exciting electrical appliances and manufacturing. Cars began selling exponentially. This led to the expansion of roads. which led to the expansion of cities into suburbs. This led to a strong increase in construction. The ease of travel also led to a boom in the hotel and tourism business. All of this added up to what we know as the Roaring Twenties. So what will happen in 2021? I suspect that since we didn't fall so hard, and we went into this with a very strong economy, we will see a strong recovery. I doubt it will be as notable as the Roaring Twenties. And politics always plays a role in economics, so there are many unknowns still to unfold. But what is known is that economic behavior changed in the early 1920s from that pandemic, and that momentum carried many years forward. So what momentum have we seen in 2020? Well, 12,200 storefronts closed in 2020. That's up over 20%. U.S. e-commerce grew 32 to 44%, depending on how you calculate it, and represented about 20% of all purchasing. That's huge growth. It's probably not a surprise that when you lock everyone in their homes, they'll turn to e-commerce to source even their basic needs. However, with many stores not able to withstand the slump, there are now less places to go out and shop in. Curbside pickup, or BOPIS, saw real growth as well. People who didn't want to completely rely on e-commerce, but still wanted those impulse buys turned to BOPIS. And with that, they recognized the convenience of that channel as a very efficient means of purchasing. What is really interesting is that Amazon represented 31% of all e-commerce. Sounds like a big number, right? But the year before, it was 44%. It gets even more interesting. Amazon's e-commerce growth was 17% in 2020. However, the other top 100 retailers had a significantly higher growth. As an example, Walmart's U.S. e-commerce growth was 80% in 2020. What that tells us is that people are not just buying from Amazon any longer. So with the momentum of people getting comfortable buying from a variety of online retailers and the Main Street loyalty that is now on the rise due to the small business challenges of COVID, we now see an opportunity for independent retailers. However, there is a catch. Throughout the past few years, and particularly throughout the pandemic, mobile phone usage has become a major source of e-commerce traffic. In fact, this past year, it made up about 1/2 of all e-commerce sales. Now, most of us have a responsive or mobile-friendly site. However, the trend is now moving toward app usage. App purchases have overshadowed mobile browsing purchasing by a factor of 20 to 1. That's right, 20 times the amount of e-commerce occurs on apps as compared to mobile sites. We are all familiar with Amazon, Target, and Walmart apps. Until now, apps have been such a major investment of money and resources that it has been out of reach for small and mid-sized retailers. That is now changing. We are currently engaged in a pilot program to provide rapidly built, feature-rich, fully integrated shopping apps to our clients. These apps will include everything from e-commerce to loyalty club and even industry-specific functionality. We expect widespread rollout by the end of this year. I hope each of you learn more about the momentum this pandemic has put in motion and how you can take advantage of it during this very active time in the retail world. I welcome everyone, and I thank you all for participating in the conference.
Thank you, Ian. Up next, we have our first keynote for our conference, and I'm excited to introduce Bob Negan, co-founder of Whiz-Bang Retail Training. Bob will be talking today about culture, your secret weapon in post-pandemic retail. And so at 10:25, go back to your main session screen and click right into the first keynote there. Join now, and you'll be in the session. I personally will be hopping in and out of breakout sessions all throughout the next 2 days. And so I hope to see each of you in those sessions. If not, I will see you all at 5 o'clock tomorrow at the virtual happy hour. Have a great conference. Thanks all.